Hey there, fellow nature wanderers. If you're like me, you love spending time outdoors, breathing in that fresh air and connecting with the natural world. But at home, have you ever thought about what's in the products you use every single day? That's why I'm excited to share Apple Valley Natural Soap with you. Their handcrafted all-natural soaps are made with organic ingredients, essential oils, and no harsh chemicals. Awesome! So they're not only great for your skin, but they're safe for the planet. And they don't just stop at soap. Apple Valley Natural Soap also carries a full line of natural skincare products, including shampoos, body butters, facial bars, and more. All designed to nourish your skin without synthetic ingredients. You can't beat that. That's just awesome. Whether you're hiking in the woods or just winding down after a long day, their products bring a little bit of nature right into your home. And the best part? By supporting Apple Valley Natural Soap through The Nature Wanderer, you're also supporting this podcast. Just head to the show notes and click on the link for Apple Valley Natural Soap. So go ahead, treat yourself and the environment to something better. Your skin and Mother Nature will thank you. Now let's get on with our adventure. Welcome, fellow nature lovers, to the Nature Wanderer podcast. I'm Paul, your host, and today I'm going to take you out in the wilds. Okay, I'm stuck in the studio because it's rainy and dreary, and I want to do a talk about hiking safety. Not just any kind of hiking safety. I know you probably heard the winter hiking safety, which is very important when you're out in the cold weather. And if you're out on a day like today when it's wet out. And I was going to actually do this out in the rain with my raincoat on, but I figured the rain might be a little distracting. So I decided I'm in the studio today and I will do it from here. So we're going to talk about summer hiking safety today. So get your notebook and your pencil just so that you can take some notes, because this is really important information to know, because so many people every single year, they get lost in the wilderness or they get injured in the wilderness, and the reason is because they're not prepared. Yes, you need to be prepared. So I don't want you or me to become one of those statistics. And I know all about how to hike safely during the summer, and I want to give you that information. So, like I said, go grab a pen, a piece of paper, or your notebook, and let's get talking about summer hiking safety. So with summer hiking safety, there's many different steps to staying safe while you're out hiking. And the first one is planning your hike. And in my opinion, this is probably the most important step. If you don't plan it properly, you really could be in trouble. What am I talking about planning your hike? Well, I want you to pick, first of all, the right trail. Maybe you're an experienced hiker, but it's early in the season and you've been kind of just hanging out, hibernating all winter. So you're a little bit out of shape, not ready for the big hike right away. I know I always like to start out in the spring doing some easier hikes, some mellower hikes, just to get my body back into the hiking mentality. Yes, your body does have a hiking mentality, in my opinion. So you need to get ready for going up to those mountain peaks. You don't just strap on some hiking boots and say, hey, I'm headed out on the trail. I'm going to do a 20-mile hike up a mountain. No, choose the right trail. If you're new to hiking or it's early in the season, pick a trail that matches your skill level and your abilities. And don't forget the people that you're hiking with. Okay, so I may be an experienced hiker, but the people I'm with may not be. So I want to make sure I choose a trail that can handle everyone's ability. When I take the grandchildren hiking, I'm going to take a pretty level, easy trail because they tire easily. And I don't want to be dragging them up some mountain. So choose your right trail. How do you know the right trail? Well, research it. Research your trails. There's several websites, and I'll leave them in the show notes. One of my favorites is AllTrails. AllTrails, the Hiking Project, National Park Service. There's a lot of different programs out there that have different trail listings. And they tell you a lot about the trail, too. A new app that I have on my phone that I just got is another one that finds trails. It's called TrailLink, and that's more for the Rails to Trails. So if you're looking for a nice, easy Rails trail hike, look up TrailLink. But my favorite, like I said, is AllTrails. If you go to AllTrails, people have been mapping these trails out and they put them on AllTrails. They get reviewed and then they get listed. And as more people start taking those trails, they start rating them. They will tell you the difficulty level. They will tell you the elevation gain, any potential hazards along the trail. Once you find a good trail that meets your skill and the abilities of your group, then what you want to do is you want to check out the trail in real time. And what I mean by checking it out in real time, I usually like to go to like Facebook or some of the hiking groups, and I look at their posts, recent posts on that trail. So I'll do a search for the trail that I'm going to take and say, okay, what's the trail like? I also look at weather. What the weather has been doing the past week at that location of the trail. Is it going to be muddy? Is it going to be icy? Well, we're talking summer hiking safety, so it better not be icy, but you never know. Maybe you're hiking up some mountain. So check out the trail conditions. Check out any recent reports on any hazards along the trail. I remember when I went out west and I was hiking some of the national parks, they had listings at the park ranger station every morning as to trail conditions and which trails were closed due to bear sightings. So check those things out before you just head out on the trail. I had a friend many years ago who he went up to Alaska for business, and while he was there, he was an avid hiker like I am, and he went out and did some hiking up there by himself with no others with him, and he realized afterwards he was hiking in grizzly bear territory, and he never really checked it out. So he's lucky nothing happened. Always check trail conditions. So this is all part of the planning the hike. Now, the next thing you want to do, I already mentioned it briefly, check the weather. Not just the past weather, but the weather forecast. Be aware of any potential weather changes, like rain in the forecast, maybe a sudden change in temperatures. Check for any flash flood warnings, any poor weather that's going to put more hazards on your journey, and pack accordingly. I mean, if it's just going to be lightly raining, maybe you still want to do the hike, but be prepared for it. Make sure you have good tread on your hiking boots and bring a raincoat. You get wet, you get cold very quickly. And the last part of planning your hike is leave an itinerary. Okay, your trip plan, what you plan on doing when you're leaving, where you're going, what trail you're taking, and when you plan on coming back. And write those plans down or send them to someone, send a text to them, an email, say, hey, here's what I'm doing. This is to inform someone, hopefully someone you know and like, but it's informing them of your plans. You want all that information in there so that when they check with you or you check with them when you get back, they know, okay, everything's all right. But if they call you at 7 o'clock and you're not answering when you said you'd be back at 6, they know something might be wrong and they can inform the authorities. They can let them know exactly where you were going, what trail you were going to be on, and they can hopefully find you in a pretty rapid time. People die out in the wilderness because they're unprepared and no one finds them. So make sure you leave an itinerary. And there's actually a new app out. I think it just came out last year. It's called the Cairn app, CAIRN. Look it up, download it on your phone, have a loved one do the same thing, someone who's not hiking with you. And what it does is they can actually check where you are in real time. So the Cairn app, I have it on my phone. My wife has it on her phone. So when I'm out hiking alone, which you never should do, but I do it all the time. I know I should stop. I should start practicing what I preach. Yes, I do hike alone now and then only because, hey, I keep offering you guys, come and hike with me, but no one's called me. My wife isn't always available. My friends aren't always available. So we don't always have a good schedule match with the people we want to hike with. And that's why I hike alone quite often. Also, they don't want to listen to me recording a podcast. But anyhow, the Cairn app, get it. It could save your life. Now, the next step, you've got your trip planned. You know what trail you're going to take with your skill levels and your abilities. You've researched the trail. You've checked the weather. You're all set to go. Or are you? Now's the time to prepare. So step 1, plan your hike. Step 2, prepare for the hike. Make sure you have the proper footwear. If you're hiking on rough terrain, don't be wearing sandals. If you're hiking through a field, don't be wearing shorts. Tuck your pants into your socks. Tick season. You don't want to be bitten by a tick and get Lyme disease. You get Lyme disease, you could be not hiking for a while. So anyhow, make sure you're wearing the proper footwear, the proper clothing. This is why you check the weather. Check the current trail conditions again. Check the weather forecast again. Check your equipment. Make sure all your equipment are in good condition. Anything that takes batteries, make sure they're fully charged. I'm going to go back to clothing really quick. Make sure you take extra clothing too. I mean, if it's going to be warm, really warm, make sure you have moisture wicking clothing. Make sure you have pants that you can maybe zip off the legs to make them shorts. But remember, if you're hiking through a field with tall grasses, you probably don't want to be in shorts. Don't be wearing sneakers. Wear some good heavy-duty hiking boots. If you're on the beach, even if you're hiking on the beach, I still don't recommend sandals. Okay, they're not good for hiking. If you're just enjoying the beach, it's a different story. But if you're out hiking along a beach trail, wear proper footwear. Okay, so you got proper footwear, you've got the weather conditions checked, you got the trail conditions checked, you got the proper clothing, you're wearing the proper clothing, I should say. You have some extra clothing just in case, all your batteries are charged, all your equipment's in good shape. And I always get asked, should I take hiking poles? Well, that's kind of a matter of preference. I know some people who don't enjoy using hiking poles. I like hiking poles. I usually only use one hiking pole, but in the past year, I've gotten into the double hiking pole. It just helps pull me up trails when I'm going up inclines. It takes the stress off of the lower body and more distributes it between the lower and the upper body. So it's taking that stress off your lower body. That's why I like hiking poles. But some people, they just don't like them, and that's fine. That's your preference. But make sure you get some good hiking poles. I like the type that have the spring system in the bottom. They also take a little bit of the wear and tear off of your body as you're hiking. I'm going to expand a little bit on the preparedness. Yes, you have the list I just gave you, but I want to talk about packing smart. I have 3 different backpacks that I use when I'm hiking. I know it sounds ridiculous, but it's for different types of hiking. If I'm just going on a quick 1-2 hour hike, a really quick one, really easy terrain, I usually have my small shoulder pack. It handles a couple of bottles of water. It has food in it. It's got a first aid kit. It's got, the essentials. If I'm going on a day hike where I'm going to be out for more than 2 hours, but I'm not spending the night anywhere, then I'm taking my medium-sized backpack. And sometimes on the shorter hikes, I'll take that as well. It depends on where I'm going, maybe rougher terrain. If I'm going on a new trail and I know I'm going to be out for half the day or the full day, that's when I take my big backpack. My large backpack actually straps around my waist and it clips in the front, so it takes the weight off of my shoulders. It distributes that weight better, so it makes it easier and less tiring for me to hike. So get a good backpack. Research them. Find out a good backpack. Pay a little more if you need to. This is good, well-spent money on a good backpack. And then pack that backpack with the essentials. Carry a first aid kit. Just a basic first aid kit. Carry water. Depending on how long you plan on being out, the weather, if it's going to be really hot, take more water. If you're going to be out a long time, the entire day, take more water. But remember, you're carrying that weight as well. So you want to make sure you balance that properly. You don't want to be carrying 5-gallon jugs of water in your backpack. You're not going to get very far. But make sure you have the proper amount of water. Navigation tools. Make sure you have a map, compass, or a GPS. Make sure the batteries are fully charged in anything electronic like a GPS. I always have a headlamp or a flashlight, and the reason I do that is even though I don't plan on hiking in the evening, I've had times where I've been out and it got later than I expected, took a little longer than expected to get back to my vehicle, and so what happened was I was hiking in the dark, but luckily I had a headlamp so that I could see where I was going. Take extra layers of clothing too. It's amazing how quick it will get cold even in the summer once that sun goes down. And like I said, you never know. You may end up, hiking in the dark. Not fun. So make sure you have extra layers of clothing in your backpack. I like to carry a knife in my backpack just in case I need it. And I also have sun protection. Wear sunscreen or a hat. Wear sunglasses to protect yourself from the sun. You don't want to get skin cancer. So protect yourself from the sun. Even if you're hiking on a cloudy day, wear sunscreen. Okay, you can burn even on a cloudy day. So protect yourself in the sun. Take some extra sun protection in your backpack. Not a huge bottle, just a little bottle. They make small bottles for hiking. I also like to take I have some little packets of powder. They're electrolyte powder, so that if it's really hot and I notice someone in my party or myself is starting to show signs of dehydration or the heat's getting to them, I will add that to the water and have them drink the electrolytes. It helps with preventing dehydration. So you want to stay hydrated. So don't forget that water. If you can get these electrolyte solutions, they're fairly inexpensive. They come in little packs. But I would put them in a plastic bag. The packets rip easily. I have had some rip in my backpack before and get all over everything. So make sure you keep them in a separate pouch somewhere. Also, pack some food. I always like to pack some snacks, some high protein snacks, some energy snacks. If you're going to be out all day, pack a small lunch, something that will provide energy throughout your hike. When my wife and I go for a longer hike, that's going to be maybe a couple hours. I always have some energy bars in my backpack. We usually stop somewhere along the way and just take a rest, have one of the energy bars, and it really helps to get us through the hike. And of course, on our stop, we also hydrate, because we always want to hydrate. Don't forget stops, especially in the summer. You want to stay hydrated. Now, that takes care of planning your hike, preparing. Now let's get out on the trail. So now you're on the trail. How to stay safe on the trail. First of all, stay on marked trails. Avoid wandering off the marked trails. I don't know how many times I have been lost in the woods. I know, practice what you preach, Paul. Yes, I've been lost in the woods. I'll tell you a real quick story. One of my biggest nightmare stories, my daughter and I, we did an orienteering meet, and it was in a new area. We've never been there before. We were members of the Buffalo Orienteering Club, and my daughter and I were really into the orienteering, and we're both very competitive. So our team, her and I, we were the only ones. We went out and we wanted to get as many points as we could. We wanted to get as many markers, and we're studying the map ahead of time. We decided, okay, we're going over to this one, then we'll go get that one. And well, the trail on the map, which looked like a deer trail, they have these marks, these trails that are like, well, it's not a really great marked trail. It's kind of, you'll find it though. No, we didn't find it. We ended up just wandering, and I kept losing my directions. No, I didn't have a compass with me. Not a bad idea, guys. Take a compass. I do now, but we didn't have a compass with us. I like to do orienteering looking for different marks on the map that will show me the terrain and show me the different landmarks out on the trail. So that's how I like to orienteer. I don't use a compass as much as I should. And I'm good at a compass. I just don't like using them. So anyhow, we were wandering and we got lost. And after a while, it's like there were no trail markers around. There was no trail. We tried doing a shortcut, and that was my big downfall. I shouldn't have done it. It looked like there was a decently marked trail on the map, and there wasn't. So anyhow, we got lost. Finally, we're looking around, and we're just wandering, and my training kicked in. I says, well, let's just go in this direction. We'll just keep going in this direction. Don't turn. And we just kept going, and eventually I saw a big tower, a radio tower. And so I looked for that on the map. I found it, and I says, okay, I think we're in this general area. Let's just head for that, and we'll hit the road, the main road. So I started walking through the woods, and all of a sudden it's like there were briars everywhere. Now my daughter, she was smart. She wore jeans. I'm in shorts. I knew we were going to be in the woods, so it was a warm day. I wore shorts. We came out of those woods, found the road. My legs were so ripped up from the briars. She was a little scratched up too. Now, mind you, the whole time, I never told her that I was lost and scared to death. Yeah, I really was scared at that point because I was really lost. So anyhow, long story. I didn't want to get into that much depth, but Stay on marked trails. Avoid wandering off the marked trails. And there's two reasons for that. Number one, like I just told you don't want to get lost in the woods. It's better to stay on the trail so you know where you are on the map. You better have a map. And the other reason is if you're wandering off the trails, you're damaging nature. Yeah. Leave no trace. And I'll talk a little bit about that later. Okay, second thing. Be aware of your surroundings. Yeah, pay attention to your surroundings. Be aware of potential hazards, such as wildlife, any rocks, any steep slopes. Yeah, keep an eye out. Don't just be wandering aimlessly along the trail, daydreaming, maybe in a deep conversation with your friend who came with you or your partner. Don't get too sidetracked. Always make sure you're watching the trail. Make sure you're watching what's ahead. I was out hiking with my brother down in Maryland once, and as we were walking along the trail, and we were talking, having a good time, and he had his dog with us, and the dog was getting a little bit ahead of us, and all of a sudden, luckily, I have this mentality of always watching around me, watching my surroundings, and I'm pretty good at it because I have really good peripheral vision. And all of a sudden, I noticed some movement going right across the trail, right about where my brother's dog was about to step. Sure enough, I called out to the dog to get him to stop, and I was actually, this is funny, I was in such panic, I couldn't think of the dog's name, and I'm shouting, it's like, stop. I could not think of the dog's name, and finally my brother noticed what I noticed, and he called the dog, and the dog came right back to him immediately. If the dog had taken a few steps more, he would have stepped right on a rattlesnake. So we just waited for the rattlesnake to go across the trail. And yes, so keep alert. Make sure you know your surroundings at all times. Look for potential hazards. Watch for rocks in the trail. Watch for any steep slopes near you. Don't just go wandering through the woods. Pay attention. Take breaks now and then. Yeah, stop and rest, hydrate. Do that regularly. You don't want to have problems from being tired. Stay with your group. Don't go off hiking alone. I know, I do it all the time, but always go with a friend. Go with a group of others. I love hiking with others, but don't always get the chance. So try to stay together. Communicate regularly. If you do get lost or injured, stay calm. That's very important. That's one of the most important things. When I teach wilderness survival, I'm stressing throughout the entire class, stay calm. Panic kills. So stay calm. Try to retrace your steps. Signal for help if necessary. If you get really, really lost or you are so badly injured that you cannot walk out, stay where you are. I hope you had an itinerary. You left it with someone, you don't show up late, okay, they will find you. Do some sort of signaling. Put some bright objects around you. I don't want to get too much into this because this would be like 2 or 3 episodes, but just put some signals out. Make sure that they can find you easily. And then keep warm. Yeah, if it starts getting dark, the sun goes down, you're going to start getting cold very quickly. Your system will shut down and you can go into shock, hypothermia. So always, if you get lost or injured, stay warm, put a signal out, or if you're okay, try to trace your steps back. If you're just getting more lost, just stay put and wait. Use sunscreen. I know I stressed it earlier. I told you, and packing smart, take some sunscreen, but here I'm going to stress it again. Yes, wear sunscreen. Insect repellent too. You don't want to get some nasty insect bites that can really annoy. So yes, pack some insect repellent. Wear it. Keep your feet dry. Your feet start getting wet, they're going to start getting blisters. You're going to start getting sore. They're also going to cool your body down pretty quick. Yes, so you want to stay dry, especially your feet. You don't want blisters. Boy, that can ruin a hiking trip. And the last thing I want to talk about with staying safe on the trail is the heat. If it gets hot, you want to be careful. Yes, be very aware of the dangers of heat stroke and dehydration. Take measures to stay cool. Keep drinking plenty of water. Wear light-colored clothing. Don't wear dark objects of clothing that are going to absorb the heat from the sun. No, wear light clothing. It'll prevent you from overheating. And take breaks in the shade. Try to find a shady spot. Take a break now and then. You don't want to overheat. I have run across people who have had heat problems before, heat stroke. I was co-leading a hike many years ago, and we didn't get too far out on the trail. And it was a sunny day, a hot day, and this couple of ladies that were always hanging out at the back of the group, they kept stopping when we were discussing things along the trail, and they would stand in the sun. Everyone else would go off to the side because it was a hot day, but they stayed in the sun. And at one point, the lady started showing signs of heat exhaustion. So luckily, my co-teacher and I, we were trained in knowing the signs, so we noticed her looking a little pale, faint, and we took her aside, put her in the shade, gave her some water. We took her back to the nature center, and we had her lay down. We put some cold on her, but yeah, she was in serious problems. She did start to feel better, so we didn't have to call an ambulance or anything, and she did perk up pretty quick. So she didn't have heat stroke, it was just heat exhaustion. So I have seen it happen, and it's not nice. So make sure that you stay out of the heat and you prevent heat stroke, dehydration. That's very important in the summer when you're hiking. Now, the fourth thing I want to talk about is when things go wrong. Now, I don't want to spend a lot of time on this. I could do a 2-hour episode just on wilderness survival, wilderness preparedness, but I don't want to do that here. Instead, I just want to let you know, get some training in wilderness survival. Okay, if something goes wrong, you want to know how to build a shelter, you want to know to stay warm, and you want to stay hydrated. So the 3 main priorities are to stay hydrated, stay warm, and stay dry. A lot of people think food is a priority, and it's not. You can go 3 weeks without food, only 3 days without water, and 3 hours before hypothermia could set in. That's the rule of 3s. So make sure you stay warm, dry, and hydrated. Okay, so like I said, I don't want to get too much in depth with that. Now, the last thing I want to talk about here is helping the wilderness survive you. And you may be wondering, well, wait a minute here. Okay, I thought this was about summer hiking safety. Well, it is. It's hiking safety for you, but it's also hiking safety for the wilderness. Did an episode a couple of years ago about leave no trace. So go back to that episode and listen to that. It tells you all about how to leave no trace. But the basics, first of all, travel and camp on durable surfaces. Okay, stay on established trails. Doesn't just help you from getting lost, but it also helps the wilderness. It helps you from trampling endangered species of plants, animals. Yeah, you don't want to do that. People who avoid that mud hole and go around it all the time on the trail, they create a whole new trail. I see it happen all the time. When my son was in Scouts and I was helping out in Scouts, we would go to a summer camp every year. And at the summer camp, you can't believe how many shortcut trails went through the woods. Yeah, you got kids, you got leaders who want the shortest way from point A to point B. It's like you're in the wilderness. You're out here to hike. You're out here. Well, anyhow, I won't get into that. But yes, stay on the trail. Camp and travel on durable surfaces. So surfaces that aren't going to be damaged easily from your campsite or from you hiking. Second thing, dispose of waste properly. Pack out everything you pack in. Okay, leave what you find. Don't disturb rocks, plants, or any other natural features. Minimize campfire impacts. If there's an existing fire ring, use it. Don't make a new one. Yeah, use that fire ring. If there isn't one, then make sure you clear the area of any combustible material. Dig a small hole, put the dirt aside, build your fire in there, and when the fire is out, make sure you cover it up with that material you dug out. Put the leaves back over, whatever materials you moved out of the way. Make it look like you were never there. That's the whole point of leave no trace. So campfires, make sure they are contained. Keep them small. Ensure when you leave that they're completely extinguished, completely out. You don't want to start the whole forest on fire. And the next thing is respect wildlife. Okay, observe the wildlife from a safe distance. Don't bother them. Don't annoy them. Never, ever feed them. You don't want them to become habituated. So never feed the wildlife. Make sure you store food properly. You don't want to accidentally feed them. So make sure you store it in a bear bag if you're out camping in the wilderness. Or sometimes they have... I went to the place out west where you stopped at the visitor center and you could actually rent these bear cans. And you put your food in that can and you string that up into a tree. So bear cans or bear bags, a lot of people use. And finally, be considerate of other visitors. Be courteous, yield to others on the trails, and avoid loud noises or activities that could disturb others. Oh man, I really hate when I'm out on the trail and someone is just going through with a radio and they don't have headphones on. You want to listen to your music in nature? Hey, that's your thing. But don't make it my thing too. Use your headphones if you're going to do that. I hate having that music blasted while I'm out on the trail. I was in a rainforest in Puerto Rico the one time, and some guys hiking down the trail with a bunch of friends, and they're yapping away, and they got the radio playing. It's like, I was enjoying listening to the water come down these small little streams and the birds and the other wildlife. I was enjoying that until these people came along. It's like, hey, you want to do that? Go somewhere else. Not out in the wilderness. You want to be in the wilderness and you don't want to listen to the nature around you? Hey, that's your thing? Good. Don't make it my thing. Okay, I'll get off my soapbox. I think you get the point. Don't disturb other people. Be considerate of them. Okay, and that means don't leave your trash around too. But common courtesy. Okay, well, we went a little bit long here. I apologize for that, but there's a lot to know about hiking safety in the summer. I want to make sure you stay safe out there all summer long while you're out in the woods, in the wilderness, in your own backyard. When you're outside hiking, make sure you stay safe. So I'll go over it really quick. the outline. Okay. Plan your hike. Okay. Make sure you're finding a trail that's right for you. Be prepared for the hike. So proper footwear, proper clothing, check trail conditions, check the weather forecast, make sure your batteries are charged. Then pack smart. Yeah, make sure you pack smart. Carry the proper equipment with you. Make sure you have a first aid kit, enough water for the hike, extra clothing, extra batteries, a headlamp. Make sure you have sun protection, some food too. Make sure you have some high protein foods. Number 3 is stay safe on the trail. Always stay on the trail. Don't wander. Be aware of your surroundings. Take breaks. Stay with your group. Use sunscreen, insect repellent. Make sure you keep your feet dry. Make sure you avoid overheating. Number 4, when things go wrong, make sure you're prepared for that. Make sure you know a little bit about wilderness first aid, wilderness survival. How to build a shelter is critical. Keep you dry and warm, just in case you have to stay out in the wilderness. And the last thing is, make sure the wilderness can survive you. Well, thank you for joining me. I hope you enjoyed learning how to stay safe out on the trails. I hope you'll use all this information to stay safe on the trail. I don't want to hear anything about any of you, getting lost in the wilderness, getting injured. No, you shouldn't. You shouldn't. I mean, accidents do happen, but if you are aware of your surroundings, if you prepare, if you're ready for the hike, you should be okay. So make sure you do that before you head out. Thank you for joining me. If you want to support the podcast, please do so. All the links are in the show notes. I'll have links for the different apps like Cairn. I'll have links for some of the trail websites to find the proper trails that'll fit your needs. And speaking of trails, real quick before I close here, if you haven't yet, join the 52 Hike Challenge. The Nature Wanderer website, I also have a challenge for you, a hiking challenge on there. If you live in the Western New York area, Western New York Hiking Challenge. There's a lot of hiking challenges out there, and it's enjoyable to keep up with how you're progressing with your hiking. I actually have a chart with the 52 Hike Challenge so I can see how many miles I'm hiking this summer, how far I'm going, my elevation changes on average. So yeah, all that information is kind of neat. So check those things out. If I remember, I'll put the links in the show notes for that too. But if you want some cool merch, go to the Nature Wanderer merch store. Go to my Ko-Fi page. All the links in the show notes. I look forward to being with you again next week. And if you ever want to have a hiking partner this summer, hey, drop me a line. If you live in Western New York, I'd love to have the company while out hiking. Enjoy the rest of your week. And above all, keep exploring the nature around you. Hello, friends. I hope you're out wandering through nature, exploring the natural world around you. Do you enjoy writing about your wanderings? Nature journaling is an awesome, fun way to remember all the adventures you have taken and how you felt during those journeys. If you're looking for some beautiful journals to keep track of all your wanderings, I have several available on Amazon, including some guided journals for children. Start your journey in journaling by clicking on the link in the show notes. Keep exploring the nature around you and keep journaling all your wanderings.